You know I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in entertainment, media, sports, entrepreneurship, and so much more. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese. And Joe, today, a very special episode because where are we? We are at Six Flags Great Adventure.
Isn't this amazing? So something that Nick and I have always wanted to do is to bring the You Know I'm Right podcast live and in person. And let me tell you something, Nick. Do you see a cloud in the sky today?
No clouds in the sky. It must have written the stars, and I think it's because of our special guest. He was able to manipulate the weather because we've been going through a rough stretch here in New York, New Jersey with a ton of rain and a lot of cold in April.
April showers certainly bring May flowers, and hopefully through the spring season up until just about Memorial Day where this place gets going, you'll see a lot of people here. But we welcome to the show Ryan Eldredge.
Thanks, guys.
Public Relations Manager, right, for the Six Flags brand here. Ryan, thank you for joining us today. How are you doing?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. Doing great. Like you said, you guys brought the good weather because I always joke that anytime I organize a media activity or getting on a podcast, the weather is usually trash. Mm-hmm. So this is great. This is a nice departure for me, and I'm just going to say that maybe you guys brought the sunshine in for us to kickstart spring break.
We will take it. We're here. It's beautiful right now. Right now we're sitting in front of your newest ride in the park, so we're going to talk about that a little bit, but the Flash is behind us, and you're seeing that on the screen right now, the Flash. So we're going to talk about that soon, but you're a busy man, Ryan. You're doing a lot. And we're going to get into that background, but I have to ask you, the first thing you're checking on your phone in the morning, what's that app? I got to assume it's email. Is it the weather app? What are you checking out?
I mean, yeah, usually I wake up and I check my email. That or I usually have a couple unread text messages because I'm an early riser. I'm not necessarily a night owl at this point, so usually, I coach soccer, so I'll get done. I am usually tired by the time it hits about 10, 11 o'clock, might watch some basketball. I go to bed. Wake up about 5 a.m., and normally I have a couple text messages from some of the night owls that I work with because in the entertainment industry, there's two types. There's somebody in the morning and there's somebody at night. So usually text, and then I check my email and see what's going on for the day, check my calendar.
All right, well, speaking of owls, you went to Temple University.
Temple University,
so
that's
the
right.
Owls, right?
So Cherry and the White.
At that time when you're in college, what was your career goals? What were you studying there? And any internships that you helped at that point to do those particular career goals before you ended up ultimately here? And we'll talk about how you got here after.
Yeah.
But talk to us about the time at Temple.
It's fun. Yeah, it's funny. I don't talk about college a whole lot. But when I went to Temple, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do per se. I knew that I wanted to get into I really wanted to get into journalism, or at least like sports entertainment. I mean, I think we all grew up, a lot of us grew up wanting to be on SportsCenter, right? So I was like, I want to be on SportsCenter. But as I got into college, I realized that I kind of felt more drawn towards storytelling. And what does that look like? So kind of steered towards communication field specifically. I think they called it broadcast telecommunications and mass media. Weird title, but basically journalism. And then while I was there, I had a professor who was like, hey, you do kind of have this interest in political science. You should double major because you could do it. And I'm just a glutton for punishment, and I like to be super busy. So I got those two majors. But while I was in college, really around junior year, we have some really good programs. We have a thing called Temple Update. We have a thing called Owl Sports that allows you to create stories, find stories, and you get to work with a camera. You get to edit. And I just realized I love this stuff, and I am a storyteller. So that's kind of where I was like, oh no, this is the right thing. I don't know what it looks like. And then I did a couple internships, did a news station. I did one with Comcast Sportsnet at the time. I don't know what. I mean, they would probably just say I was an intern, but you're kind of like a production assistant. You'll be the guy that drags cable through the locker room.
We know that very well.
Yeah,
we both
you'll
have
sit there and watch a
backgrounds.
game and put time codes down and figure out where to cut the shot and maybe help write a script. So I did that for a while, but I do think that helped me set up. I actually did a reception desk at a news station in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So you got some contact, and then at night, you could shuffle back and talk to the assignment desk, talk to producers. So first couple jobs right out of school were in news, TV news, and I got out of TV news after about a decade. To be quite honest, it's just an exhausting profession.
Yes,
and I'm a storyteller, but every day I'd wake up with anxiety by the end, and I knew it was time to get out. Had a friend who worked in state government, another weird job for me, but I did have the political science degree, so I was like, maybe.
This could be the future governor of Pennsylvania one day.
Absolutely not. So I got to tell stories there a little bit too. So worked for the Wolf administration and did some stuff with the Department of Health as they rolled out the vaccine for COVID-19, which for me, it was just more about media training and getting people ready more than it was policy. And I did that for a little bit, and I got out, and I was still there, but I was trying to find something more fun. Like, honestly, government work wasn't for me. It wasn't fun. I didn't enjoy it. I'm not really a political person, so it wasn't necessarily where I was going to get activated. And I just saw this posting for, like, public relations job at Dorney Park, and I, like, read the description, and I'm like, what?
I could do this.
I'm like, this is weird. This is like journalism and the political science. Like, got a little bit of everything that I've done, and it has like that excitement and energy of sports.
Yeah.
And pursued it, and that was we're going on 4 years now, and this has been my favorite job. And then just got promoted a couple months ago and took over at Great Adventure. So now I have the honor and privilege of doing both parks, Dorney and Allentown, Great Adventure here in Jackson, and it's a great job. And I always hear people say, like, I want my job to be different every day.
Yeah.
And, like, this job is different every day.
It's always a great adventure,
personality.
right? It's always
I know.
adventure.
You got my line. I always say it's a great adventure or my life's a roller coaster.
Waiting to use that.
Yeah, but I'm in a good spot, and we have a really good team here. So it's crazy. You never know where you're going to end up when you're 18 years old and you're getting out of high school.
Wow.
So you work as a public relations manager.
Yeah.
Now, the Six Flags brand, when it comes to the national brand and theme parks, right, world renowned. You know, it's second to none. So explain to somebody, if you're looking to kind of transition and you're looking to get into that space where you're working into theme parks, right, and you have a lot of amazing things coming in time here, especially with the Six Flags location here, Great Adventure in New Jersey. But talk about people who want to kind of get into this industry.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I had known, right, that this was a profession, a great thing to do if you're younger and you're listening to this pod, even if you're a little bit older, is like get a job at the park. You know, even if it's part-time. The great thing is, like, during our special events, so whether it's like a summer event or a Halloween event, Fright Fest, right, or Halloween Haunt at Dorney Park, there are so many good opportunities to be a part of the entertainment team on a temporary basis with a schedule that works for you, and it would just be like a foot in the door. Or if you're in high school and you're looking for a summer gig, just get in there, get in that space, and get a sense of what it's like, because I can tell you guys, even being the public relations manager, like, I have operated a roller coaster, right?
Wow.
I have helped with culinary. I have helped.
Shout out to Chef Jeremy.
Chef Jeremy.
I've helped with admission. So, like, the more you know about the business, that's just going to make you an asset, and you really will understand what you're getting into. And not only that, but you'll have connections at the parks. And we always say this about, I feel like everybody says about every business, but, like, it's a small world. And, somebody even like me, Jackson, I know people all across the country just from doing this for 4 years, right? And so it's like, get in here, get an internship, get a job, and just get in there, get settled, try to meet some people and network a little bit over the course of, if it's a summer, 3 months. If it's Fright Fest, it's 2 months. Just try to get your foot in the door and see what it's like. And then I know, too, from an HR standpoint and human resources, we are at different things like job fairs and networking events, Chamber of Commerce events. So, if we're going to be there, it's not a bad idea to just poke your head in and say hello. And I think it would be a great job for anybody. You can learn so much about you can learn a lot about behaviors too, people, and we have animals. So you can do that too.
That's right.
So let's walk through the last 4 years too. So obviously you start off with Dorney Park. You're also doing the water park there.
Yes.
Then you have the big merger, right? Cedar and Six Flags, you merge. So talk to us first about, how you adjusted to the job when you first took it. Then you got this curveball thrown at you, the merger. So you're taking on, you also keep those two roles. You're also doing Six Flags, you're doing the Safari here, and Hurricane Harbor. So talk to us, first you can talk to us about how important that merger is for the parks. And secondly, just talk to us about the grand scheme of all that stuff that's under your umbrella for the job.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll go back. So when I took the job at Dorney Park, I had no idea what I was getting into. I kind of just explained to you guys. I have no amusement park background. And what I found over the first couple months is that it actually kind of like made me an asset. Because objectively, I could see it from a different lens, especially when it comes to marketing and public relations. Like, where are we not being transparent where we could be? Where are we not telling stories where we could tell stories?
That
creatively,
comes from your communications and multimedia background
as
well.
And like where creatively, we have so many incredible creative people, performers, videographers, photographers. We have so many, and like where are we not utilizing our assets to enhance our brand online? And that was a big goal of mine in Dorney. And like I pushed us creatively. Sometimes I would be like, what is this? This is trash.
Right.
But you've got to, sometimes it's about the journey and the destination. So once we hit 2023, I was feeling a lot better. We opened Iron Menace at Dorney Park, which is like a huge undertaking. Opening a roller coaster at a park is insane. So much work from storytelling and trying to get the background set up and working with the construction team and the maintenance team and the operations team, getting all those pieces together. We got it done, and I felt like, man, this is like a crowning achievement. Like, I am like in this job, I feel so good. And then, 6 months later, it's like, we're merging, and your role's going to change a little bit. And I'm like, oh, do tell. And I'm thinking, I don't know. You always get worried because you hear like stories of marketing is always like one of the first to go. So I'm like,
right,
man.
usually a merger, that means people are getting kicked out the door.
Right. There's some assumption of that. And it didn't happen. Instead, it was like, so it's almost like, hey, you did so good over here. We want you to not only hold it, we want you to take this one too.
Span.
And I'm like, oh boy. And I guess the one thing was I learned so much at Dorney Park that at least I have to keep the main thing, right? Because when there's mergers happening, there's so many different things that happen. And sometimes I got to check myself. I mean, a couple weeks ago, I even had to check myself because we're changing things from a safety perspective, operations at this park, and even the other park, even at Dorney, to all of us get on the same page and be doing things the same way. We're finding that, Great Adventure did things well in certain areas that maybe Dorney didn't or Cedar Fair Parks didn't, and then vice versa, right? Where Dorney was doing things well in Six Flags. So, like, now I can kind of be the piece or a bridge between the two and be like, hey, yeah, well, like, they did do that over there, and it worked really well. And I'm one of the very few people that will have that kind of experience at both parks. So I'm trying to lean into that. There's so much that goes into a merger, though, and anybody that's been a part of one, it is just like, it's crazy. I mean, there's so much that goes into it. But for me, I'm a big Eagles fan. Go Birds. But Jalen Hurts always says, keep the main thing the main thing. And when I'm starting to feel that out of control, it's like, what is my main objective? What is my main job? My main job is to tell stories for this park and get people to the park. And as long as I'm doing that, I can't worry about all the other stuff that's happening around the company, whether it's a ride here, a new ride there, change of a policy. Just focus on the main thing, and that's really helped. And I think I'm blessed. Both teams at both parks are dynamically different. But they're all game to support it. They know like what my job is, and I think they understand it, and that helps.
How important for you in your role is social media?
Huge. And I think I was talking to you before we started. I'm big on like how is our content being utilized? How is our website being viewed? How are people engaging with our brand? And I think the big thing that I did kind of like a brief study when I did Dorney, found that we were pushing 80% utilization on cell phones, right? And that translates to a lot of different things. So we have got to be cognizant. I always say my big thing is, and someone's going to, I feel like someone's going to steal my idea. I almost feel like this is like an idea, but I guarantee everybody else thinks about it. But like, don't think of yourself as a business. Think of us as a content creator, because this park is so content rich.
Absolutely.
That if we carry ourselves like a content creator, we're pushing out, great photos, great video, great stories, and we're working with dynamic creators like yourselves, then that will allow us to expand our brand organically. And I always say, like, I love it. Like, you can do a lot with new media and emerging media. Our utilization, which is almost mirrors the cell phones, right? Like, new media versus legacy media, our utilization is 70-30. So it's like we can do so much just working with content creators and working through social media. So to answer your question, it's huge. Yeah. It's huge. And I think, sometimes we've got to bring the older generation into that and be like, and you can show through analytics, like, yo, this is super important. Like, I know we did things a different way 10, 15 years ago, but like right now, it's really important. And I think sometimes for people in our generation, they get lost is they're like, I don't care about legacy media anymore. And that's a huge mistake too. So there's a marriage there somewhere in between. But like I said, to answer your question, it is incredibly important to our business.
So legacy media-wise, Six Flags is known for some incredible commercials over the years. So I know you're new to Six Flags and all that, but what would you say was your favorite Six Flags commercial if you had one?
I mean, actually, I'm a big fan of anything from like the early 90s and like late 80s where you do those like really goofy jingles, There's like a pretty epic theme song from one from Six Flags. It's like it's basically like a 3 parks thing. I can't even think of the song. I'll get it like as soon as we're done. But like, has just like such a catchy jingle.
They're all so great.
And then it's like, I don't know. You know how it's like early commercials are like really, really corny.
Yep.
But they're like got that grainy because it's analog still.
Yep.
Yes.
Like it has that dynamic to it. But we have one like that, and then we actually just did one for Fright Fest last year with Mr. Six, where it was like he's back and he's dancing in front of the bus, and they actually shot it.
The Vengabus. That's
right.
it. That's the answer.
And they shot it here at Great Adventure.
We do want to suggest somebody. Okay. If you had to get somebody in the Vengabus role, a former guest of ours.
Okay.
Scott Hamilton, Olympic gold medalist skater.
Yeah.
He would be perfect. We asked him on the show because he said people mistaked him for the Six Flags guy in the past. But if you want to get a little modern there, if you ever get an ice skating rink here, you get him to come out.
Scott Hamilton.
Scott Hamilton. What do you
That's
think,
a blast
Joe?
for the past.
Absolutely.
It's a good name.
I think Scott Hamilton's a great idea. I think the ice rink is a great idea because when it comes to the Six Flags brand and the parks and looking to revolutionize and continuing to build upon those great ideas that you keep mentioning, right? We've been coming here for a long time. You know, we're in our 30s now. At any given point, every couple of years, you could see construction going on throughout the park. So let's talk about the transition phase that you see right now with the park. A lot of construction crews the last couple of months, a lot of rumors, a lot of rumblings, right? Old rides being taken down, you know, new rides coming in. What can you share with us about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think transition is the understatement of the year. We are in an aggressive transition. And what is happening at the park is we want to recapture the original vision for this park by Warner Leroy, which is we want to be a great adventure. And certainly the safari, the Wild Safari, plays a huge role in that because that's something that we have that nobody else in the Northeast has, and virtually nobody else has in the country. I could think of 2 or 3 other properties that are similar to ours, right? And one's in Florida and one's in California off the top of my head. So you have that. But I think the thing is, like, we have to dynamically be a park for everyone, and there has to be a fun experience for everyone. You know, I think for a long time we were a thrill capital, and that's great. But I'm not sure that encapsulates an adventure. An adventure is so much more, right? It's not just I'm going to climb to the top of the mountain and that's all I did, and then I come down the other side. Like, I mean, sure, I guess if you're thinking of Everest, that's right. But I mean, I don't know if a roller coaster would quantify as an adventure. So what we're trying to do, and certainly roller coasters are in the future. Obviously, we've already talked about it. We've got the Flash this year, which is kind of like our replacement for Green Lantern. And then we have a new dynamic roller coaster coming that's going to be record-setting in maybe a few regards that'll replace King Ka. So I'm fine with talking about that, at least in the most basic sense. So we recognize that, like, this year's going to be tough. But, you know, obviously we've got new leadership. And so with new leadership comes a different vision. I tell people all the time, I wouldn't be here if I didn't believe in the vision for this park. I think we're going to see a lot more for families to do. And certainly I think, you know, long-term, the vision, at least for me, and we're kind of working on this with Savannah Sunset Resort, is, you know, if you're coming from New York or Philly, there is an opportunity here. And this park is so big to stay for more than one day. But right now, there's not a whole lot of places to stay overnight.
No hotels.
So certainly, like, the vision is to make this more of a destination park, and to make it so that this is a place where people come to stay and spend a few days rather than just one. Because I could tell you right now, just from being at the safari in Hurricane Harbor, I mean, that's one day right there, and you haven't even gotten over to this side of the park. And that's even without some of the dynamic things that we have planned for the next 10 years. So I'm really excited. We are 100% in transition. But I think if people are patient, they'll be really excited about what's on the other side. I think this is a great start.
So let's talk about this.
Let's talk about the Flash right behind us.
It's a great start.
And now let's be clear for people out there, because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, this is replacing King Ka." It's not.
No,
it's just a different
I've seen
roller
that
coaster.
online.
So
no.
set the record straight that this is just an awesome new coaster here.
Yes.
That has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, and I mean, the big thing is, if they really want me to get into, like, the details, I mean, this ride was supposed to open last year.
Right. It was
King
Bernie
Ka
being
would have
built.
still been here. So it is certainly never billed as a replacement. Wasn't supposed to be the replacement. We do have a replacement in mind for King Ka, and that is coming. We are working on that, and hopefully, you know, we'll have some more details in the coming months.
And is that you get a timetable in the next year or two for that?
Yeah, you got the perfect timetable, and you know, like I said, it's going to be a dynamic thrill ride for sure.
And is that going to be in the same area where
yeah,
King Ka was?
it'll be in a very similar footprint, which is another reason why, you know, in that space you clear out a couple rides. You're getting ready for the next big thing, and we want to get that. We want to start construction as soon as possible. So as soon as we're ready to go, we'll start to see progress in that area. And like I said, hopefully we'll be able to make an announcement in a couple months. But yeah, this ride is fantastic. I will say too, what I love about this ride is that, like, people are coming in, they're like, I don't know, not that, you know, it's not the biggest, it's not the tallest, it's not the fastest, whatever. And they get on it, and I think they're blown away. I think the biggest thing is, like, the air time, like that zero gravity feeling that you get on this ride. And I've been on a lot of roller coasters. This thing has an experience that's unlike anything I've been on before. And a lot of that has to do is you not only do you do it forward, but then you also go in reverse. And it just has a lot of those dynamic inversions, multiple launches. And honestly, it's a great ride. I mean, if you like the Flash, if you're into DC characters too, it's got a little bit of that. I don't get too hung up on that kind of stuff on rides, but it is cool to be able to tie IP into it.
All right, give me some of your favorite rides in the park. You give us a roller coaster, but also give us some regular rides as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Nitro fan, and I'm a big El Toro fan. But actually, our giant wheel's great. It's got a really good lighting package on it, and it's a classic. We actually got we can see it right here to our left, and a little breezy today.
Right,
but I mean, we got a lot of like great classics for folks that I think everybody can enjoy. Jersey Devil's also a great coaster.
Jersey Devil's
we
very
got
good.
a lot of really great coasters. The Hall of Justice is right up here too. That's another like great family ride. If you like scoring and doing some laser shooting, it's a good ride. So we've got a lot of fun stuff here. I'll be honest with you guys though, like the most understated thing that even like when I came in, I didn't give it as much thought, but like the safari is amazing, and the team over there is incredible.
Yeah.
The animals are like so nice, so beautiful. I'm like, I don't know, you don't expect because it's like it's the wild safari. So you're like, oh man, here's a rhino, and they're like, I mean, you can pet it, and I'm like, oh, when you're going around with the vets and stuff, and it's just an incredible experience over there. So for me, that's just as big of a part of what's happening over here as anything else.
And Nick, it's amazing. He sounds like somebody we know, a very, very close friend of ours, Mr. Joe Foreman, helping us engineer.
Our engineer today, the biggest coaster fanatic you'll ever find.
Got to give him a special shout out. Six Flags is very near and dear to his heart. He's volunteering his time.
Collects a lot of memorabilia.
Yes, he does. So if we were to construct a perfect roller coaster for what you like, what would it look like?
Oh, I love Batman. Right here, like an inverted roller coaster to me is like undefeated. I could ride it over and over and over and over again and not get sick and still be excited every single time. I also like roller coasters with like a multi-launch. So like this is another one. The Flash is another like really, really good / perfect roller coaster for me. I just want like I need it to go inverted, like I need to go upside down. And I need to have a speed of over about 60 miles an hour.
Okay.
If you can hit those things, dude, I'm happy. I don't need it to be like the tallest, fastest. I mean, I love that stuff. But yeah, I mean, like to me, Batman and Nitro are like great ride. Like like Batman's a perfect ride for me. I could do it over and over again. But that's just that's just one man's opinion.
Yeah.
It's my preference.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the great food items here in the park.
Oh man.
What's some of your favorites? And we were talking a little bit with Chef Jeremy before the interview, the executive chef here. He said there could be some expanded menus on the horizon in the future as well. So talk to us about the great food offering here at the park and what's your go-to.
Yeah, I mean, we're revamping a lot with Chef Jeremy, which is great. So he's got experience from Xfinity Live, and he's worked at a couple great places. He's got a really good background, diverse. He's really good at seafood.
Really?
And so we got salmon at Savannah Sunset Resort, which is like the salmon's good. I mean, if you like salmon, of course. But here we're also kind of doing like our own take on pizza this year. I'm a big pizza and cheeseburger guy, so like we'll have
classics.
Totally different burger and pizza experience this year. And like I'll be honest with you guys, talk about a menu a lot, and like like the most common thing people purchase at a theme park. Like what do you think is like the number one food
I would say
item?
chicken nuggets and French fries.
Chicken tenders and French fries.
I'm right.
Oh, there you go.
Chicken nuggets, yeah. So I mean, but we're trying to get a little more fancy. Like Brussels sprouts are on the menu this year. I'm a big Brussels sprouts guy.
I heard the Brussels sprouts are very popular.
Very
here.
popular.
Second popular side.
Very good.
Right.
I mean, can't miss on fries at a theme park. So,
yeah.
But I do like that Chef Jeremy's going to bring a little more culinary skill and like elevate it a little bit more. So like you'll say pizza and you're like, oh Lord, theme park pizza. But like he's got this really good take on like a Detroit style pizza.
It's good stuff.
Which is it's like it's that square vibe.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful and I'm excited for some of the things that are going on. A lot of good sweet treats every year.
Can't go wrong with Dippin' Dots.
Yeah, can't go wrong with like a funnel cake, Dippin' Dots, ice cream.
Good stuff.
So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do, but there will be a little bit of an elevated experience. And if you're at Savannah Sunset Resort, they're gonna do like the tailor-made custom breakfast just for you in the morning. So that's pretty sweet.
All right. So you
don't talk about too much yet. I don't know if you guys ate lunch.
You mentioned we're going to have to eat lunch after, so we're getting very hungry. You have to go to Granny's for some lunch. But
yes.
You mentioned before you don't really buy in too much about the DC character aspects of the rides. But what is your favorite DC character?
Oh, Batman, 100%. Yeah, I am a huge Batman fan. People are like, what's your favorite movie? Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
And as a kid growing up here, so that's why IP is so important.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, it was definitely important to me. And just being able to like experience something, I mean,
Right.
you just say it's Batman, and I'm like super thrilled to take part in it. So like Batman, 110% favorite DC character.
Very nice.
Also, like he's just like a real dude.
Yeah.
I always think to myself, if I ever got rich enough, I could be Batman.
Sure.
Right. He's
You know,
not,
I can't.
he's not
I
a
would-
superhero.
I
He's
can't
the
say
world's
that about
greatest
Superman.
detective.
I can't ever be Superman. You
Yeah.
know, and I'm probably not going to be Spider-Man either. Nobody's going to bite me. You know, for
Right.
going to Marvel. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, always, and like Iron Man is my Marvel equivalent, right? Like.
Right.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll be rich enough, and maybe I'll get really smart, get hit with a shovel or something,
Yeah.
and I can create a suit of armor. I don't know.
That'd be awesome. So here we are at Six Flags. There's a little
Yeah.
something here for everybody, right? Like Joe, he's single, he's ready to mingle. He can bring a hot date here.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
family man. I have a child. We got the
Also
Looney
do that.
Tunes world as well.
Yep,
so
both of you, you're good.
it's a big range, but
Yes.
I guess a two-part question. Joe, where should Joe bring his date in here? Where would be the best, the best rides to hit up? And
Oh,
for
yeah.
me, where should I bring my young son, my wife? What should we go to?
Well, I mean, Joe's probably gonna want to get close, so I guess like anything that spins, So you got the Scrambler's a good one. 'Cause
Love
you
the
get real
Scrambler. Yeah,
close.
you lean right in.
Scramblers,
Yeah.
Scramblers. I mean, the
See,
giant
listen, he
wheel, because
knows.
then you're stuck up high with them for a little while.
That's
too. That's
right.
a good one.
Yeah.
What about the lasso of
Joker's
truth?
a
right?
good
She's
one.
got
You can really see like how are you in adapting as a human being.
Yeah.
What
I
a-
think
roll.
Skull Mountain another good one.
Skull
for
Mountain's a
Joe.
good I like where your head's at. Yeah, but I mean those are good. And then for the family, you go and explore the kids areas. I did forget to mention too, like on your hot date, definitely check out Granny's and Yum Yum Cafe this year. A lot of good food,
certainly
elevated dining experience.
I heard
nice
the
tables
rotisserie
and
chicken's
chairs,
amazing.
Rotisserie chicken.
To all my lovely date options out there, we're gonna get rotisserie
Yeah,
chicken.
a little healthier option, if
Right.
you're trying to be a little lean. Yeah, so there's options for everybody. Plenty to do for the kiddos. I always love to see the characters with
Yeah.
the kids. Porky Pig and Wile E. Coyote were running around this morning, so like being able to see them is pretty cool. So I mean, just doing that kind of stuff with the kids is good.
Awesome stuff. So you hit on the safari already, right?
Yes,
Why it's
do
so
that with
great.
the kids too.
And the safari, I think it's much better now that you don't take your own car, because I
a
used to be
liability.
terrified as a kid.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Hurricane Harbor, because
Yeah.
that place is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Why should people consider going there this summer?
So actually, my biggest thing with Hurricane Harbor, and I always say this about any water park, is like people will get like a pool pass to like their local community pool, and they'll pay north of $100 for this like pool pass, and if it's a family pass, it's going to be even more. It's like, why not just get a season pass?
Yeah.
And you can get the safari, you can get the water park, and you can get the theme park as much as you want all year, and the price point is like relatively inexpensive for everything that you're going to get. You're also going to get discounts on food and drink. So like that's my first pitch, because I'm always thinking like when I have had pool memberships, the pool membership costs more than a season pass to a theme park.
That's true.
That is a true story. So not only do you get access to all those things, but like inside Hurricane Harbor, I would definitely, it's an easy argument that it is way better than your experience at your local community pool, because you've got the lazy river, you've got the dynamic wave pool, you have the kids area, you've got all those different slides. So as far as features are concerned, I mean, and then you got different places to eat too. So like you're not just stuck at the pool with like pool snacks. So like it's an experience for everybody. So I think when it comes to like the summer sun, man, it's a really good price for what you're going to get. Kids love it. Island Splashworks is great. So I mean, you can just as a parent, you can go and vibe. Sit on the chair,
Relax,
let the kids run around with the bucket dump and on the little slides and climbing around. So there's just always something for everybody. I'm not necessarily like a water park guy, but even I can recognize the value. And when you have kids, man, and it's hot, it's a good time.
So what else does this particular Six Flags location here, Great Adventure, have going on this summer? And have you considered other different options for activities, events? Because we happen to be huge pro wrestling fans, right? So there's we think there might be a little bit of an opportunity, maybe with like WWE and an NXT event, All Elite Wrestling, Impact Wrestling's making a comeback here. What could we talk about regarding that? Has that ever been put on the table?
I have not talked to anybody in wrestling, but certainly I've been into, so one thing that I'll go to Dorney real quick, because as you guys know, I'm just kind of getting on here, so we're starting to try to work on a game plan. I'm really big into charitable initiatives and how we can like connect back to our community, and I think that's actually one place where sports teams and franchises have been really good and successful is utilizing their brands and leveraging their brands to support their communities through charitable giving, charitable initiatives. And athletes do it really good too, right? Like we have a lot of athletes in our area, in the Philadelphia, New Jersey region, New York, who are really good at giving back. So I think we've got to be better about tapping into that.
Yeah.
At Dorney Park, to go back to that, we worked with the Philadelphia Eagles last year to do a charity event where we were able to raise thousands of dollars, had a night out. So folks were able to meet Reed Blankenship and Britton Covey and the cheerleaders and Swoop, and we had a good night, got to ride Iron Menace, and that was fun. So we want to try to emulate that kind of stuff here. So, whether it's talking with the New York Giants or the Devils or the Rangers, like trying to find that synergy, and I think sports is a great offshoot. So, like, I'm open to it. Always got my phone on me, so, if the WWE wants to call, we actually, the Big Schnitzky is an old-time wrestler. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him.
It's not his fault.
Yeah, but he's actually a friend of Dorney.
Wow.
And has been to some media events, and he's been invited out here. So the connections are there. And I think we're in a great region of the country, right? Jersey, New York, and Philly, and even to some extent Delaware.
SummerSlam is coming to MetLife Stadium this summer in
August.
It's in August.
Yes. Okay.
WWE Day at Six Flags.
That's right.
A day at the
bit
park.
of time.
I bet you some of those guys are too big to ride some of these coasters,
definitely.
especially height and weight, some of the restrictions. But we'd still have a good time. I bet they'd enjoy, like, feeding a giraffe, riding some of these other Nitro would be a good time.
Ideas.
But, we're open to it. We're always thinking about different and we talk about events, too. We do have a bunch of different events coming up this year. It's probably a little early, but I'll give you guys some insight. We're working on an event called Heroes and Villains with DC, which actually is going to be really cool. I know I said I didn't care about IP on the roller coasters, but IP in the park where you tangibly can meet characters and have different activations with them, I think is sweet. Because now you actually like meeting the character. You're in their space. We've got something to provide, whether it's food or entertainment that's tied to that character. I think that's awesome. So we've got that coming. We're also working on a Summer Nights event where we have Brad Ross, a magician, is going to come in and do some fun stuff. Got a lot of entertainment lined up for the year. You guys know Fright Fest every year is a banger.
Yep.
So we got that. Kids Boo Fest every year is like a fun one for the family, for you. So, and then Holiday in the Park to end the year. So we've got a lot of other dynamic, cool events coming up as we kind of move into the summer. So, the answer, I don't know. That's like the longest answer ever. But, I am always thinking
That's a good thing for you. Great thing for
I'm
the
always
people,
thinking of
great thing
dynamic new events, and our
Yeah.
operations team does the same, as well as our corporate team. So I am excited, and I think next year we'll get our legs under us a little bit this year. We've got some good events. I think next year is going to be balling. So.
All right, I want you to take a look right here into the camera.
Yes.
And make your pitch for any either actor or reality star.
Yeah.
Pick somebody specifically and tell them why they should come out here this summer.
Well, hey, actor / reality star / celebrity, you should come to Six Flags Great Adventure, not just for our proximity to New York, Philadelphia, and, of course, we're right here in the great state of New Jersey, which means there's tons of people to be here with you, but we will also give you an experience unlike anywhere else. Not only do we got this new roller coaster behind me, which is awesome, we've got a lot of other roller coasters around, and check this out. You can enjoy Hurricane Harbor. We'll get you on some slides, get you cooled off, and then you can go check out the Wild Safari, and we'll make sure you get the VIP treatment out there. Maybe you can meet Coral, our star giraffe this year, who is about 3 months old, and Sawyer, our big rhino. So we'll make it an experience unlike anywhere else. I can guarantee that. And that's coming from the guy that's been working at Dorney for 3 years. I can tell you right now that there are things here that you wouldn't get at Dorney, but if you want to slide across the road, too, we'll take you there as well.
They'll be in good hands with Ryan. Ryan, last thing
I'll
here.
be there. We'll hang out.
In your life or your career,
yes,
what would you say is your I'm right moment? What I mean by that, it's a time or place where you wanted to pursue something.
Yeah.
You asked somebody for advice. So they said, Ryan, that's a terrible idea. Don't do that. It's not going to work out. And you were like, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. And in the end, you will see why it is that I'm right about this. And I can tell you I told you so.
Yeah. Oh, boy. I feel like I have a couple of those. But I think the biggest one for me was actually this transition into public relations. I have a lot of friends that are still in journalism or in different fields that are like that. And I think that in that field, they kind of look down on public relations or like media relations jobs. And they're like, oh, look, like what a cop-out. Because you have years of I hold everybody accountable. And so for me, it was actually like an internal struggle too. Like, am I making the right decision to get out of this field that I've done for 10 years, even though I know it's not good for me anymore? But I started trying to kind of just support my own what do I really want with my life? And I think for me, like, that is the ultimate you know I'm right moment. Like, this isn't good for me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't going to be something that's going to give me long-term happiness. And this other opportunity has a chance to be something different for me that makes me happy. And so, like, I love that I can look back on it now, and maybe not right away, but look back on it now and go like, man, you know I'm right.
Yeah.
Like, I was right. I was right about me,
Right.
and I was right to take a chance on something that, folks, there were people around me who said, like, it wasn't going to be the right call, or like, oh, you'll be back. You know, so now it's been 3 or 4 years. I'm like, I ain't coming back.
Right.
So that's
far,
probably
so
my,
good. You know
I'm
I'm
right moment. But also as a parent, I got quite a few. You know I'm right moments.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I told you not to get up there. You know I'm right.
So Ryan's not leaving.
No, we
Ryan,
ain't leaving.
Thank you for doing with
Thanks,
us.
guys.
We
Yeah,
really,
man.
really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
One last thing is we know you're based out of Pennsylvania. We know your commute's kind of back and forth, right?
Yeah.
It's long one day. It's not long
He's got to
the
take
other
the
one day.
Vengabus to
That's
work.
right. He's got to take
I
the
wish.
Vengabus. But amazing family man, like the person to my right. You're doing an excellent job here. One last time, we love coming to the parks here, and thankfully, on the day that we got to do this, it's a brilliant day outside. It's a little cool, little breezy, as you could hear and see.
Spring is in the air, though. You
Spring
can feel
is
it
in the
coming.
air, but you can feel that it's starting to get warmer, and the summer's coming, and amazing things are coming here at Six Flags this summer. So, Once again, Ryan, we thank you for your time. We appreciate it. We always give our guests the last words here. So, if there's anything else you would like to personally share, by all means, you have an audience here. But once again, we thank you for doing this with us, and we're going to enjoy the park here for the next couple of hours while we're here.
Yeah, well, I'm a big people person, so I won't pitch the park again. But I just wanted to thank you guys for taking the time to be out here. Got great weather, and you guys are talking about a I'm right moment, and that must have been like when you two reached out to do the podcast. Now you can look back on it and be like, see, Ryan told you, I'm right.
Yes.
This was a good time, and I appreciated being with you guys. So really, thank you so much for thinking of us and for coming out to the park. And to all your listeners, if you see me in the park and you're out here this summer, please say hello.
Get your
Don't
season
be a
pass.
stranger.
Get your season passes now.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So thank you, guys.
Ryan, this has been great. This is going to do it here from our special episode at Six Flags Great Adventure. For our special guest, Ryan, my co-host, Joe, I'm Nick, and this has been You Know I'm Right.